Hi everyone, so we'll continue with our discussion for the signal transduction introduction that we started last time. So we know that cell signaling is really important. Cells need to communicate with each other. There has to be this communication networking that will enable cells to function properly, to function in a precise and an efficient manner. So we know it's important. Well, okay, that makes sense. But how is it that cells go about doing this? How do cells communicate? Do they have a language? How do they talk, right? Obviously, cells don't talk the way we do, but they do have a language, and that is the language that we're going to study. So, we don't know why cells do it the way they do it, but we do know how they do it, okay? How they do it. So a general mechanism would be as follows. So what happens is you have your, this is your plasma membrane, okay? So these would all be your phospholipids, okay? And alright, and then embedded in the plasma membrane would be something that is referred to as the receptor. Now this receptor is a specific one. It's a transmembrane receptor. What transmembrane means is that it's embedded in the plasma membrane. See, same thing with my dots again, they just don't show up. Okay, so in the plasma membrane, so it's embedded in the plasma membrane. Now, this is the basic structure, basic setup of the receptor. Now let's say I have this cell here, and let me call it cell 1, and I have another cell here, which is referred to as cell 2. Cell 1 needs to transmit a signal to cell 2. What cell 1 is going to do, how does cell 1 go about communicating something to cell 2? Well, cell 1 is going to produce a molecule. This molecule is referred to as the primary messenger molecule. And primary because it is at the first stage of sending the message. So we have this primary messenger molecule being produced by the cell that needs to say something to another cell. And this other cell, the cell 2, will have a receptor, a transmembrane receptor, and that's exactly why I introduced the word before I went about with this little story. So this is your transmembrane receptor here, which is embedded in the plasma membrane of cell 2. So this messenger molecule, it will be wobbling around inside between the cells, and it will be, just finding its basic destination is this receptor because it needs to send that signal. So as soon as it finds this receptor, it will bind to it. Okay, this binding of the did I say receptor instead of messenger? I probably did, so make sure you get the right terminology. So this messenger molecule, which is also sometimes a messenger molecule or something that binds to a receptor, is also referred to as a ligand. So when this ligand, or specifically the primary messenger molecule, binds to the receptor, this is a very important step in the communication of cells. This binding of the ligand to the receptor will relay a series of chemical reactions or pathways inside the cell, and the cell will go about bringing the response that it needs to, conveyed by cell 1. And what happens after the binding of the ligand to the receptor? There's two things that can happen, and I think there's only 30 seconds left, so we'll continue this in the next video. So remember, the binding of the ligand to the receptor is the most critical step. That step will allow for the information to be relayed by the cell, inside the cell, in two different ways, and we'll discuss those two different ways in the next video. Thank you.